Welcome to Informatica Cloud 201 On-Demand course. Module 3, Cloud Mapping Designer, Dynamic Linking. After completing this module, you will be able to explain dynamic linking, use Create a New Runtime option, and discuss pros and cons of dynamic linking. The ability to create a target file at the runtime is known as dynamic linking. We can use this feature only for mappings. To create a target file, you need to select the Create New at Runtime option in the Target tab. This option is available after selecting a connection when you have to select an object. You can also configure the format of the file using the formatting options. When you create a flat file target at runtime, you can choose to append timestamp information to the file name to show when the file is created. When you create a flat file at runtime, you can append timestamp information to the file name to show when the file is created. When you specify the file name of the target file, you include special characters based on Linux strf time function formats that the mapping configuration task used to include timestamp information in the file name. The table that you can see on your screen describes some common strf time function formats that you might use. %d, the special character represents day as a 2 decimal number with a range of 01 to 31. There is a difference between special characters %y and %y uppercase. %y represents year as 2 decimal number without the century, with a range of 00 to 99, whereas %y with uppercase represents year including the century, for example, 2015. The utility of all other special characters is shown on the screen. All approaches has its own benefit and drawbacks. Here is what we see as the good and bad of dynamic mapping. It's useful when you don't know the field names and nature of data coming from the source. No need to manually write codes to create table and populate it. Not available for data synchronization, data replication, and other tasks. One of the world's leading organizations of independent audit, tax, and advisory firms works with a broad range of publicly and privately held companies, government agencies, financial institutions, and civic and religious organizations. The company's vision was to be the leading firm in its industry serving dynamic organizations in its chosen market. It needed to transform more data more quickly from more sources into usable information that can be used for intelligent decision-making. The company generated a huge volume of financial reports, such as time, bill, and expense activity, profit and loss statements, and net revenue reports. However, the company was unaware of the structure of the data coming from various sources. But it was important to keep all the records at the same time. Analyzing the source and creating the table manually was time-consuming and a complex task. A family of cloud data integration solutions specifically designed to help SaaS application and platform customers integrate cloud-based data with the data residing in on-premise databases and systems or between cloud applications. They built stage table loading mapping building. Since a typical stage table mapping will not include common complex transformations, they created just one mapping and can parameterize the source table, target table, connection details, etc. Also, they dynamically created the tables at runtime using the dynamic linking feature. This made the development effort simple and highly reusable. In this demo, we will configure the mapping, add sorter transformation to the mapping, and use dynamic linking in the mapping. To create a new mapping, log in to Informatica Cloud using the credentials. Select Data Integration from the My Services window. Click the New option from the navigation pane and choose Mappings from the New Asset window. Select Mapping and click Create. A mapping canvas opens up with the source and target transformation. Enter M Dynamic Linking in the name field. and under the Mapping Properties section, retain the default location of the mapping. To configure source of the mapping, click the source transformation available on the canvas. In the General tab, under Source Properties pane, enter source in the name field, and click Source tab in the Source Properties pane. From the drop-down menu for connections, select the flat file connection, and for the source type, select Single Object. To select the source object, click the Select button. A Select Source Object window appears. Select the customerdetail.csv file from the list of available files and click OK. Next, we will add a sorter transformation to the mapping. This transformation will read the first names of customers from the source and sort them alphabetically. To add a sorter transformation, drag and drop the sorter transformation shape between the source and target transformation to automatically link them. Rename the transformation as Sorter in the General tab, under New Sorter Properties pane. Now on the Sort tab, click the plus icon to add a new field. Select First Name option from the Field drop-down, under the Sort Conditions and Ascending as the sort order. Now select the target transformation present in the mapping canvas. Under the New Target Properties pane, in the General tab, name the new target as Target, and click the Target tab. Select the flat file connection from the Connection drop-down and Single Object for the target type. To select the target object, click the Select button beside the Object field. In the Target Object window, click Create New at Runtime Radio button as the target object. Provide a file name as shown on the screen, where %d, %m, and %y will determine the date, month, and year respectively. That is the timestamp determining when the file was automatically created. We must check the Handle Special Characters checkbox. To enable the timestamp feature, click OK. Observe that the operation is set as Insert by default, because we are creating a new file which is blank. Here we do not need to map the source and target fields, as the upstream fields will automatically be created in the target at runtime. Now to validate the mapping and check the errors, click the validation icon. As the mapping is valid, click Save to save the mapping. Click the Run button. From the pop-up window, select the active runtime environment and click Run. To observe the status of the task, click My Jobs option from the navigation pane. We see that the name of the file consists of the date when it was created. Also, 15 rows were written to the target file in the sorted order, according to the first name. This concludes the demo. You're now ready to perform the lab activity. In this lab, you will perform dynamic linking by creating a flat file at the runtime. You will also append timestamp in the name of that file. This concludes Dynamic Field Linking module. In summary, we discussed what dynamic linking is, created a new runtime option, and discussed the pros and cons of dynamic linking.